It's something a lot of us take for granted, having access to broadband internet. But that's not the case for everyone, especially in rural areas.
And here with the dirt on how the Champaign County Farm Bureau is working to connect those homes, it's manager Brad. You can hang it out with us here in the Weather Garden. Okay, so a lot of those families that live in rural areas may not have the highest speed in their internet connectivity.
That's correct. It's a major challenge out there, and it happens in town too, but it's more predominant in the rural areas. We talk about the reliability and the speeds of internet service, and obviously COVID-19 last year really impacted that, or really shone that light that spotlight on it a lot brighter. When we talk about kids that were online studying, people working from home, things like that.
So you can't get to the library or to the coffee shop or whatever to use their internet, and if you don't have it at home.
Yes.
Kind of
matter of fact, I parked in front of my local library one day in my truck to get on a Zoom call. So yes, so I've done that. But yeah,
you do what you got to do.
That's right. There's real challenges out there, and it just is a little bit different than folks in town. And again, I'm not implying that everybody in town has perfect connection either, but it's a lot rougher and a lot more difficult out in the rural areas.
Yeah, they don't have those T1 lines run or whatever, the fiber optic cables, etc. So I guess the question is, what is the solution? I've known some to do some sort of satellite connection, and there are some of those out there, but what have you guys seen as the best way to combat
Well, I
this?
think there's challenges moving forward, and where is the technology going to be? I mean, fiber to the home is very expensive to run fiber to every home, because the business model for that to run, say, a mile of that to get to one house, that just doesn't pencil out. You don't pay enough per month to really pay for that. So then you're back to a satellite, and that technology is good, but it's challenging at times as well. What I think there's some positive things coming is the Champaign County Board is looking at spending some of their federal American Rescue Plan Act money to address or start to address rural broadband in the unincorporated areas. Now, with that also comes the affordability side, because affordability plays into the picture as well. So I think there's some things on the horizon. I'm not saying tomorrow, I'm not saying August 1st, but I think as we move forward, there's some real potential here if the county board continues to see some efforts made to improve service out there.
So what can people who live in those rural communities who may be experiencing a little lag in their internet services, what can they do to maybe like put the pressure on the board there?
Well, the county,
strongly worded email.
That's right. The county board has funds. They were awarded, I think it's $40.8 million.
Oh, wow.
And rural broadband, they can use it on rural broadband. I think individuals that have challenges with their broadband can obviously reach out. You're right. That's to reach out to their county board members and say, listen, we need to set some of that aside. The Farm Bureau has requested that they set about $15 million aside to address rural broadband and affordability issues in Champaign County. We think with that type of investment and then some of the options to match funds, state funds, I think we could set this county up to be very unique and have a great internet service for all residents across Champaign County, not just those that live in town or in a municipality.
Do you see this happening, like they are going to use the funds to run lines? Is this going to be a bolstered satellite or some sort of wireless service? What's the plan?
I think right now where the county board is at, they're looking and exploring their options. They're in the process of looking for a consultant that'll kind of propose some options. But I think at this point, everything's on the table. The catch of that is there is federal guidelines with this money of what the speeds have to be. It's called, without getting a real technical and getting too far into the weeds, it's 100 symmetrical. So 100 upload speeds and 100 download speeds. So that, or it has to be scalable to that.
So you can't use the money if you're not going to reach those
speeds.
Right.
If you're not going to reach those speeds, a project won't qualify for using those funds. So that's the core of it. But moving forward, again, I'm optimistic we're going to see some things improve over the next several months, and some ideas really come out that has some real merit to better broadband connection out in the rural areas.
Well, yeah, and we're excited. Yeah, that you all are advocating for those rural
absolutely
families.
We are. So yes.
All right. Well, if you have any questions, maybe you want to learn more about what they're doing at the Champaign County Farm Bureau, we'll connect you at CILiving.tv.